Hello, welcome to Down the Track on InView TV. Tonight we have Phil Reid, driver of the Hydraulink Jim Reid Racing Top Fuel Dragster on the show. The team have committed to the new series and I'm looking forward to hearing what Phil's got, his thoughts on the new series and what their team's plan are. So let's bring Phil on the show.
First race went 391. We had it set up soft. Blower body panel flew off, which was exciting. Then I went across the finish line. The parachute retainer had broken, so I had no chutes at 305 miles an hour, which is a bit hairy down the bottom, trying to stop no parachute.
Phil Reid, welcome to Down the Track. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good to see you, Bruce.
Yeah, likewise. Firstly, before we get into the drag racing, I hope your family are all well and you're managing as best as you can during these challenging times.
Yeah, it's tough for us all. Work's tough, having to get permits and things like that, but we'll all get through it. It could be worse. You could be living in Afghanistan trying to get away from the Taliban. So you've got to look at the positives in life.
Yeah, good way to look at it for sure, because there's certainly people worse off than we are. Here we are talking about a top fuel series and people got a lot worse than that. So, all right, let's get into the racing. The new series has been announced, the Australian Top Fuel Championship, starting in January 2022. 6 events over 6 rounds, looks like 6 different venues. Well, no, 4 different venues, but 6 rounds. Tell us about your thoughts on the new series.
Oh, I love it. It's a breath of fresh air. We get to race in more tracks, more states. I think it's what drag racing needs, basically.
And so you think it's great for drag racing, obviously great for Top Fuel, but you also say it's great for drag racing as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, the more people we can bring Top Fuel and show them to, Melbourne's been starved of it for way too long. It's just, you've got to get the sport out there. Currently we're running in 2 states and it's, it is a national series, what we've been running, but, the more tracks, Heathcote, Calder, I'm just looking forward to going to different venues, seeing different people and getting more fans and getting the Hydraulink name out there in front of a lot more people than, because you've got to remember, we get a lot of repeat spectators at the 2 tracks we currently run at now.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, and you're obviously targeting new fans to the track. So what's the team's plans for the series? You're obviously going to go out there and try and win it.
Oh yeah, we don't race for any other reason. We go to the track every time to win. I've always said that, even from the day I started racing. But we're getting serious this year. We've got a lot of updated and some new equipment on board. The Black Mammoth's had a complete makeover. You probably won't even recognise it when it hits the track, but it's from my brother and I. We've been working hard, trying to get things in place for it to happen. It's very restricted because our crew can't come to the shop. But we've got we're assembling the right pieces and parts to run with old 370 Pete, the champ. I mean, he's set the bar high, and we're going to try and get over it.
It was a question I was going to ask later, but I'll go straight into it because you've touched on it already, that your car could be seen as a bit old compared with others on the track. But I believe you've got all the latest and greatest bits. And so tell us a bit about your car. You said you had a makeover and all that, but can you get a bit more detail than this?
It's had a massive makeover, actually. It'll be a whole new chassis for me. So it's actually getting some alterations made to the chassis that we've acquired. So the old Black Mamba, I don't like to say retired because you never know. It'll make a good backup car, but the newer style chassis should be up there, with the Rapasadas, Peter from Premier. Because you remember that car is from 2002, 2003 before we got it, and we got it in 2005.
Okay. So can you tell us who built the chassis?
So Hadman chassis. Okay. I've just put my own personal touches on it at the chassis shop. So it'll be basically current US spec. So it'll be a lot, not safer, but a lot more up to spec with what they're running in America. As far as the front half of the car goes, we've had to put a new cage on it because obviously, to quote a few of the Americans, I'm too tall to be a driver. But yeah, so we've had to. It's a used car, but we put another cage on it to suit me, and just moved a few things around to make me more comfortable in the car. But that's all happening as we speak. And then hopefully it'll be shipped back to us on Tuesday.
Right. Okay. You're looking forward to landing, no doubt.
Oh, 100%. And we're with the November race in Sydney being cancelled, we were hoping to test before that race and then run that race as like a top fuel match race thing. But yeah, it's hopefully we can do some testing in Sydney before this COVID lifts and we can start actually racing again.
Yeah, I guess it could be a short window, COVID lifting, and then you testing before racing in January.
Yeah, worst case scenario, my brother will have a massive headache because we'll go to the first race meeting and he'll have to work it out in qualifying.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time you've done that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hydraulink came on board, and then not long after, because of COVID, racing was paused. They must be very excited about this new series.
Oh, they are, and they're very supportive of us. I think what we've shown them so far as the sport goes and the Winter Nationals, I think they're very impressed. They're a great sponsor, or corporate partner, you could say. We've got to know them very well over the limited time that we've had with them, but no, they're very excited, very pumped for the new series, especially going to new tracks.
Yeah, okay, so getting that name out there, and can we expect some sort of new approach to activation, that now they're going to get to be at more different tracks, different venues, something exciting coming out of them as well?
I'd say so. The marketing department and Wayne and Dennis, they're all pumped for it. So I'm sure they'll have something in place to attract and impress all the fans. We had a great deal up at Willowbank. Like, we got a lot of good response out of that. The way the whole pit area was set up, and this franchise, they're trying to sell more franchisees. So if anybody's out there looking to start their own business, now's the time.
Get on board for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I asked Phil Lamartina this question on an earlier show. What track are you looking forward to racing at the most?
Looking forward to maybe getting back to Perth. Even Heathcote. I have good memories. I was only a kid when my dad raced there, but the Winfield Pro Series, actually, I remember going there on Boxing Day, and Dad was racing guys like Garth Hogan, Glenn Micros, and it was we had a lot of interest in Heathcote. I have fond memories as a kid there, but Perth, I've had a very successful run at Perth. I think I won the first 3 years we ever raced there. The last year there, I think I got runner-up that I raced there, and I haven't been back there since. But Perth will be good. But yeah, any track really. I mean, Calder's the same. again, when I was a kid, we used to go to the Calder Nationals, and that place was electric. I just hope that the crowds will remember us. We haven't, been away too long, as they say.
Oh, look, I'm sure Calder Park is one track you will get the crowds. So they're very passionate. They've missed Top Fuel for so long. Yeah, I don't doubt at all that. I think the crowds are going to be quite awesome wherever you go. 2 for 2 from Perth, because Phil Lamartina said Perth without a doubt, and you said Perth. So I guess the fans in Perth must be quite excited to hear that coming from you both so far.
I think Phil said it was his favourite track. I'm just looking forward. That's the one I'm looking forward to going there. My favourite track always is Willowbank, but we'll see. Hopefully that'll pan out for later in the year.
Ah, right. Okay. So difference between your favourite and the one you're looking forward to the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we keep talking. Well, I say we, as in Andy, then Phil Lamartina, and I guess you're much of the same thing. It's all about growth and growing the sport, growing the series. And there seems to be this feeling, whatever tracks they're going to in this series, the idea is to expand it in other series the following after that. So tracks that you may or may not be racing at this series doesn't mean you won't be racing at very, very soon after that. That's the feeling I'm getting anyway.
Yeah, you're correct. Hopefully, it's up to Andy and Nathan. They're basically running the show. But yeah, hopefully there'll be more tracks in the following year. We've announced 6 races this year. Depending on how that goes, and we may expand next year, but they'll leave that up to the boys that are running the show.
Sure. All right, this is the question that stumped Andy and Phil Lamartina. In 3 words, describe the new series.
Fresh beginning, exciting.
Fresh beginning, exciting. Oh, very good. I like that. Yeah, okay. All right.
Because it is. It's fresh, it's a new beginning, and it's going to be freaking exciting.
yeah, I'm going to write that down. That's a good one, like that.
So I love the all-run format. It is so much better for our corporate people, for the crowd, and we've got, we're trying to get 6 cars at every race meeting, and there's nothing worse than, because a lot of corporate people who've never been to racing before, they may turn up, 5 minutes before your first round of racing on the old traditional style, and you go out first round, not that we aim to, and then they're like, "Oh, is that it?" And they go home again. So with that all round, I just think it's a better bang for your buck. It's more exciting, and what Andy and Nathan have got planned for in between when we're running, whether it be support categories or other categories, I don't know, but whatever they've got planned, it's just going to be one exciting show.
So the all-round format, I certainly love that as well. Who doesn't? Keeps you on the track longer. Can you explain that though for the fans, how that works? Because we know you're on the track more, but there's a point system or there's a win-loss ratio thing that makes you qualify for the final. So that's obviously got to be something that's simplistic so the fans understand it. One thing about eliminations, they understand you lose, you go home. But with this all-round, can you simplify that for us and tell us how it works?
The simple thing is, if you win a round of racing, you'll either get, depending on the point structure, 20 or 20. You should get 20 points. So if you win, you get 20. If you lose, you get none. But then you get points for low ET. So the quickest car gets 8 points, all the way down to the slowest car, which will get 1 point if it's an 8-car show, or if it starts at 8 and works its way down. So then if I get, like I missed out by 100th of a second. Kelly Betts beat me into the final at Willowbank. So if we all get a win in a round each, then it all comes down to the ETs for the day. So even if you're on a solo, you want to run quick, right? Because you get the 20 points, but you need the quick ET points because you never know, you might lose the next round. Somebody else wins and runs quicker than what you did. So it's all based on, it makes people want to run quick.
Okay. And then, so that's on race day, the day before you're qualifying. What's at stake with the qualifying? So qualifying number 1 means what?
Well, you basically lane choice and where you get to run. That's about it.
Lane choice and where you get to run. Okay.
And if you want to run first pair, second pair, third pair, if there's 6 cars, you get to choose.
Right. Okay.
So, and the top 3 get lane choice. So if it's a 1-lane racetrack, people prefer different lanes. I mean, it's never really bothered me. It's more in the tuners. those tuners are a weird bunch. They walk around, they look at this. There's a ball patch there. I want to run that lane, and so
yeah,
I just
no,
tell my brother.
The idea of lane choice for sure.
Yeah.
So that's what you get for qualifying. And then how does the points work for the championship? Do you know this question? So is it so many points for a win, so many points for a second? Does a low ET go towards the championship? Do you know?
I'm not 100% sure what the new series is going to be, but I'm pretty sure the old series, because I only came in on the end of the old series. We haven't been back that long, but I think the points you earn at that race meeting go towards your championship. Okay. So if you've won 3 rounds of racing and set low ET every round, you've got 28 points. So that's how much you times 3. So you've got 84 points to move on to the next race meeting.
Yeah, okay.
And I think in the final, it's 40 for the win, so you get more incentive.
Double for the win, yeah.
But you'd have to confirm that Andy and Nathan are working on all the finer details of that, because this is basically going to be the first time we've ever run a true, all-run format at every race meeting. We have, raced this year with the 3 cars all-run format, but the season went over 3 seasons because of COVID. Yeah. So we started out in normal points, then we moved into round robin, and so. Yeah, but the point structure will come out. They'll refine it, I think, so it's more rewarding.
Going back to the start of the show, in that show reel, you mentioned how at Willowbank recently that your chutes didn't come out. When something like that happens, what goes through your mind?
You don't really get in a top fuel car. I've always said, you don't get time to think. You just react. You're basically driving by the seat of your pants. And I hit the chutes. When I went across the finish line, the bracket broke, so the chutes didn't deploy. And then I hit them again, realised, and just got on the brake. The carbon fibre brakes were a little worse for wear when I got down to the finish, but I've probably got a bit of experience because a few years ago, Willowbank went 325 mile an hour over the old quarter mile, and both chutes tore off the car because the bracket broke. And I managed to get a stop then, but yeah. Your heart rate gets up a little bit, but I never noticed. Pete Zibiris is more concerned than what I was when we got down the other end. He's like, man, I saw you going past, and I thought, he's not going to stop. And I stopped before the sand trap, so it was all good.
As you say, you just don't have time to think, you just react.
No, a top fuel car, you don't. People say, do you feel it shake? Do you do this? I don't know. It's senses. It's something you feel and you just react to without even thinking.
All right, I'm just going to check if we got any Facebook comments coming up. But meanwhile, any words, anything we haven't covered tonight that you want to share with fans, competitors, anyone? Anything about the upcoming series? Anything about drag racing in general? Any comments?
I just want us all to get back racing. This COVID deal's, it's restricting so many of us. There's so many cars in the shed, and I just hope that everybody supports us and comes out and watches us race. Calder, Heathcote, Perth. In Perth, I'm sure they'll pull a big crowd because we haven't been there. Although Phil and Pete went there last year before. But yeah, just get out and support us, support Hydraulink, support all our great sponsors. And if there's any other corporate people out there that want to get on board, now's the time, because I think it's going to be huge.
Has there been some interest with corporate sponsors hearing about the series coming up, and whether they've anyone sort of thought, I've got an interest in that, I might sort of start looking into it a bit closer?
Yes. Can't comment on who, but yes, we've had somebody approach us.
Okay, so, yeah, all right.
I think they can see that the growth potential in this.
Yeah, all right, that's good to hear. For yourselves and then also for the series as well. I just saw a comment come up. I'm just going to bring it back because I thought it was a good one from Mark. Championship points for throttle whack.
You'd have to talk to my brother. I love the throttle whack. I love doing it. I hate that we don't do it anymore, but it's all down to the tuner. So apparently it wrecks the clutch setup. So I'll try and convince Corey, and who's my clutch guy, Corey Summerson, and my brother to bring it back, but I don't like your chances.
Yeah, well, look, I'll
do it. We always do it on display shows.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to be pushing for it. I know I've mentioned in the other shows because I understand, I don't know the technical parts about it, but I understand it does something to the clutch. But then if everybody's doing it, right, it gets back to being equal, right? You just got to adjust the clutch, knowing you're going to do a throttle whack. And if everyone's going to do the same thing, look, the crowds love it. What'd you say?
Different tuners have different opinions. So some tuners say it makes it more aggressive on the start line, so they're more likely to smoke the tyres. Other tuners say it wears the clutch plates too much. It's, I don't know. I'm a necessary ballast. I'm the guy that sits behind the steering wheel.
Yeah, look, I know all the reasons why you don't do it, but putting a marketing hat on, I'd say get on board. So I'm going to start a thing on Facebook to get people voting for that.
As I say, I'll be the first one on there to support it. You just got to convince my brother.
And all the other
so if we can work out a way, I'm sure. But the other thing you got to do, it adds cost to it because you use more nitro, you use more. As I say, you use more clutch plates. You might get one less grind out of them after a run. So it's just wear and tear and it's cost. And these things are not cheap to run.
Yeah. Certainly, I must admit, I wasn't thinking about costs when I was saying that. But Anyway, any other comments here? Good luck, guys. Adam Layton keeps coming on saying he wants Nitro Bike to be a support category.
Yep, everybody should have Adam's passion. He's a very passionate man. It's and he's a credit to the sport. Like he really, it's like us, Top Fuel. We're all passionate about what we do, what cars we race, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. We've gone to Andy and Nathan and said, listen, we want to change in direction, and that's why the 4 teams have got together and made this change. And I love that about Adam. He's passionate about it. He offered me a ride one time on Eastern Creek, and I said, nah, you guys are crazy. So.
Look, to me, it makes sense to have a nitro car and then nitro bike, right? It brings not only the car enthusiasts, it brings the motorcycle enthusiasts. Both have a chance to see nitro. I think if that would come off at one stage, that would be a great for the sport.
As I say, that's all up to Andy and Nathan. That's their deal. They're organised. I don't know what they've got planned for support categories or things like that. I mean, I love top alcohol funny car. I love the pro mods in America. Like I love that door slammer racing. It's just it's one of those deals. But hopefully the local races, and I can only imagine Calder will be huge when we go there. From all the local races, even Adelaide races will support it. Adelaide racetracks, I don't think there's a chance we'll ever race there again because it's just so short. But you never know. You never know what's down the track. Hopefully Taylor Bend will get up and running. So, but I think that's on hold for a while.
What's happening with that? Is there any news on that you're aware of?
But I have no idea. As I said, this is another reason why. See, my dad and my brother have been involved in the politics of the sports for years, and this is another reason why I love what's happening. Somebody else is in control. We can just turn up and race our car. So, who knows? Taylor Bend, if they build it, we may be racing there in the following season. So hopefully.
Let's hope. Another stage to the series.
More tracks, more people, more exciting.
All right, Phil, we're going to wrap it up there. Thanks so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Definitely looking forward to seeing you on the track next year. Going to get you back on Down the Track, our show. We hope to do a regular show through the series, so we'll get all the drivers on and chat about the series going forward. So good luck to the team. Good luck to you and the family in these challenging times, and thanks for being on the show.
No worries at all. Thank you, Bruce.
So, Phil Reid, some great insight there into the Top Fuel series, his thoughts on drag racing in general, and like everyone, all looking forward to the new championship in 2022. Thanks for joining us on the show. We're going to have some more guests on real soon, so stay tuned.